Hi, and welcome to the Psychology and Law online course. Um, Welcome to everybody. The course is closed, it's packed, and so I want to give you a little introduction to the course. First of all, my name is Narina Nunez. I've been at the University of Wyoming for 30 years, believe it or not, and my major area of research is psychology and law. And so this is a course I just love to teach. I've taught it many times on campus, but this is the first time I'm teaching it online. So I thought I'd like to sort of orient you to the course by going over some of the course requirements and making sure that you know what you're getting into in terms of an online course. Um, First of all, how to wander through the course, how to figure out what you're doing. First of all, I know a lot of people sometimes will go to the syllabus, which will have just the assignments that are due. So here you can see the syllabus. I haven't quite added any directions or anything to the syllabus at this point. All you see is a bare bones uh, syllabus. I would suggest that you not use the syllabus that much, but rather that you go to the modules in the course. Okay, now the view that you're seeing right now is the view that I see when I'm on here, not the student view, but I want you to see it through my view so that you can get a sense of what's coming up. Okay, so follow the modules. As you can see, each week 1, week 2, week 3, etc., are clearly defined. Okay, um, there are a couple of times, uh, week 8 and 9, it's a 2-week section. And at the end, week 13 and 14 is also a 2-week section. So I just want you to go ahead and go to the modules. They'll be released weekly, right before the week starts, and see what you have to do. Okay? As you can see, um, some of you may have noticed this, is there is no textbook in this class. I was thinking about using the textbook that I use on campus, but to be perfectly honest with you, I don't really like it that much. It just doesn't add anything. And I feel like the lectures are really the meat of the course. So rather than have you buy an extra textbook, what I'm going to do is the lectures are going to be the meat of the course. Okay? So let's take a look at what I'm going to be asking you to do. First of all, there are going to be, during the week, if you look at this is week number 1, you can see up here, it says 90 minutes and 13 seconds. That's about right. That is, what that indicates is the amount of lecture time that is in that particular week. And if you look at each one of these pieces right here, the first thing you'll see these slides. You can download the slides for the lectures, okay? And then there'll be a lecture. That's what these links suggest. Some more slides, another lecture, okay, courts, and a lecture on courts, the judiciary, the slides, and then a lecture. What you'll also see every single week is a quiz at the end. Okay, the quizzes are worth anywhere from 22 to 26 points. Since I believe there's about 12 quizzes. One quiz grade will be dropped. So if there's a week you don't feel like doing the quiz, or there's a week that you do really poorly on a quiz, don't worry about it. It will be dropped. Okay? What you'll also see in some weeks is these discussions. Okay, so in week 1 there is a discussion. The discussions are all worth 10 points. Here are the instructions for the discussion, and you simply respond to whatever the instructions are and discuss with the people in class. Okay, again, there are, I can't remember how many discussions there are in this class. Let's see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 discussions in the class. Actually, there's 8 discussions in the class. And I will also drop one. So if there's one week that you're very busy and you don't have a chance to weigh into on the discussion, don't worry. Okay? So we drop one quiz and we drop one discussion. So let me take a little bit of a closer look at some of the requirements in this course. One of the things that I'm going to ask you to do, although there's not a textbook in this course, I am going to ask you to read a book. And the book is Picking Cotton, and I need you to read it by February 25th. So if you click on the Picking Cotton, which is in the introduction, it gives you the information to read or listen to the book Picking Cotton. This is a book that's available as a hard copy or as an ebook or as an audiobook, and you can get it at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or your favorite bookseller. What I want you to do is read this book in preparation for our section on eyewitness memory. And on February 5th, you'll take a quiz about the book. So make sure you get that book and start reading it. Another thing that is going to be a little bit unusual in this class, and something that you need to keep in mind, is I'm going to ask you to do 2 written pieces for me. One is a current event. And so as we go through this class, you're going to see that there's so many applications in the real world to some of the topics that we're going to be talking about in this class. So what I want you to do is find some news event that pertains to something that's been covered in class and write a 1 to 2 page paper that summarizes the news event, explains how it pertains to class, and explain how what you've learned about the topic gives you a new understanding of the current event. Okay, so this is due May 4th. So anytime during the entire semester, you can do a current event. And when you go to the current event, you'll see here are the grading criteria, the rubric. Okay, another thing that you'll be asked to do is to write an editorial. And this is an editorial basically as if you were writing to the newspaper, not so much a letter to the editor, because those are often just very, very short, but as if you were able to write an editorial for a paper. So I want you to write 1 brief editorial on any topic in the class. What I want you to have the opportunity to do is to privately, in the absence of the peers in the class, respond to anything that we're talking about. Okay? As I say, I hope you will feel safe to write an editorial in which you can freely state your ideas and opinions, but you have to be very discreet about not revealing personal details that might be a legal issue. For example, sexual assault or illegal behavior or anything like that. And that editorial is worth 50 points. Now, I do want to say that over time, what I've had people do, some people have just put together amazing editorials that I just want to be able to share with the class. And if that's the case, if you write an editorial that I think could spark some interesting conversation, I might ask you if I can post it to the class. Now, I won't use your name unless I have written permission, but to post it to the class and get the class to discuss your editorial. So the editorials are due April 30th, okay? Because obviously if you put together an amazing editorial on May 4th, I'm not going to be able to allow the class to respond to it, okay? Another thing that I want to alert you to, and go back to the modules, and I want you all to let me know as soon as possible, but I need in the last class, last week, 2 weeks, I'm going to ask you to watch this documentary called 13th. And 13th is on Netflix. Now, the interesting thing about Netflix is that when I'm showing other kinds of movies in class, I can get copyright permission to do that online. But apparently, we don't have that kind of permission here at UW, which is kind of strange. So my experience has been, at least on campus, when I teach on campus, is virtually every student has a Netflix an account, so it's not a problem. But we are going to be watching this movie, and if you don't have a Netflix account, I need you to contact me, because we'll have to figure out some other way to have you watch that movie. Okay? So let's see. I've got some notes here, so let me just take a look at it and make sure. Also, I want to alert you to the fact that on some weeks, I can't remember where, but some weeks you'll see that there's an introduction. Oh, perhaps here. Nope. Well, it's a brief introduction. If you see that in your modules, make sure you look at that, and here we go, week 8-9 introduction. So sometimes I've recorded something and changed my mind, or I've said something on a recording that I want to later clear up, and so I will have this little brief introduction. So week 8 and 9, there is a little brief introduction. And so make sure you look at that so that you know what you're supposed to be doing during that module. Okay. Also, what you'll see some weeks is that I have included some videos that are not really lecture materials, but rather materials that you find from watching TV. So for example, here, I believe in this week, yes, in this week, you'll see right here that I have a segment that I want you to watch from the John Oliver Show. And you're going to see this sprinkled throughout the course. Now, I try to use comedians. There's some very good hard-hitting comedian shows that really do excellent work looking at some issues in our legal system. John Oliver's one of those. Some of the jokes are kind of corny and the language isn't great, but you'll see that there's some really hard-hitting pieces. So I think you're going to see John Oliver, you're going to see a couple of Samantha Bee episodes, and they'll all be related to the topics that we're talking about. So I hope you don't mind. Some parts are a bit silly, some foul language, but very important information. Okay? Finally, I just want to say that, this is a rigorous course. You're going to be moving at a pretty fast clip, watching videos, perhaps joining in a discussion, but certainly taking a quiz every week. And there is a lot of information that you need to take in. If you prefer a course with a little bit more hands-on, face-to-face interaction, I just want to let you know that this class is being taught, for those of you that are in Laramie, this class is being taught on campus. And the on-campus class, I believe, will move at a better clip for those of you that may not, maybe you're one of those people that you need something to motivate you, or you feel like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep up. Feel free to look into the on-campus class. It won't hurt my feelings at all, because we're going to be moving at a pretty fast clip, and I don't want you to feel like you're not getting what you need to get. Okay? Finally, what I want to say is that if you're having problems in the class, if your grades aren't good, if you're falling behind, any problems at all, please contact me and we can set up a meeting. If you're on campus, we can set up an on-campus meeting. If you're off campus, we can set up a Skype meeting. But what I really want you to do is to take the opportunity to contact me if you're having trouble in class. Don't wait till the last minute. Don't wait till the end of class and then say, oh my gosh, I'm not doing well, what do I do? Because that's really going to be too late. Okay? I think that's about it. I guess last thing maybe I want to mention is an introduction this week. What I'd like for you all to do is to go ahead and introduce yourselves. And so if you reply to this thread, and I'll put some more instructions up here, but if you click on this little insert or edit media, you could do a little video clip where you introduce yourselves, tell us a little bit about you and what you're interested in getting out of this class. If you can't seem to get the media to work, feel free to just post a picture and type something about yourself. Okay, so that's one of the extra credit assignments for this week. Okay, I believe that I've covered everything you need to know. If I haven't and you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Okay, so thank you, and I'm looking forward to this class, and I hope you get a lot out of it because I love this class. Thank you.